誰かいるね。
Hey there, on the boat.
Guten Tag, schöne Mademoiselle.
My husband said, "Hello, young lady. You want to talk to us?"
なんとなくそんな感じかなって思ったよ。ケイト。
My name is Kate Walker, and I'm a lawyer. I'm in charge of this train. This situation is really very new to me.
まあそうだよね。初めてのことだらけだよね。
A lot of money.
お金もかかる。
A lot? No, I wouldn't go that far. But I can't really complain, I guess. There's worse. Lawyer always ask a lot of money. Can we change the subject, please? I really don't want to go down this road.
そしたらミッション。
Are you from Bergstadt? Yet.
違う。
So you're like me. Birds just passing through. I'm stuck here because of my train.
Eine gute Reise mit uns, no?
なんだって？なんて言った？
Train kaput. No luck for you.
機関車壊れた。あんたついてない。黙れ。そしたら機関
It
車。
must be really neat to travel by river.
Oh, schlechte Mutter. Eine verwirrte das Grund. Für mich.
おい、これ本当にさ、言葉になってんのか？適当に言ってんじゃねえだろな。そのキフキスキーって。絶対適当だな、こいつ。
My husband said he liked
聞い
his
て
barge
機関
and
車
he
嫌
not
い。
like
音が
a
うるさい。
train.
あんた
Too noisy.
戦艦好
If
き
you
なら
want
戦
to
艦で
travel
旅
in
する
tin
って
can,
言っ
you
てる。
stay
は？
in tin can.
本当にそう言ってんだろうな。おお、なるほど。したら鳥。
Have you gone down to take a look around the station yet? It's amazing. You know, it's full of exotic birds.
赤い鳥しか見てないけど。なんだっ
We
て？
no leave boat. Husband is
陸
landsick.
酔い？陸酔い？マジで？陸酔いなんてさ、私聞いたことあるな。なんか忍たま乱太郎でなんかそういう人いたよね。陸酔いする人。船の上は大丈夫だけど陸酔いする人いたよね。
Is
そっ
it
か
the
そっか。
locks that are
こ
stopping
こ
you
に
from
もいたな、
carrying
陸
on
酔い
your
する人。
journey? Da, barge no pass. Lock closed.
君たち
Have
も
you
困って
tried
る？
like just opening them?
やったことある？
Nah, not possible. I've tried. Now system
機
kaput.
械壊れた。
Oh,
おい、まさか
dear.
壊したのお前ら
I am
か？
sorry about that. Looks like we're all being held prisoners in Bergstadt then, in a
そう
way.
だね。
Funny
我
that,
々
isn't
閉じ込め
it?
られちゃったね。そっか。ちょっと
Are
待って
you from Bergstadt? Yet.
バロックスタ
So you're
ー
like-
トじゃない。これは話したやつかな。
What did he say? Train kaput.
うん。
I have a little problem with my train. It's kind of broken. I've absolutely got to get it out of the station.
あ
Do you think you could tow it over to the wall with your barge?
のねじだけのとこまで運べってこと？
Barge blocked. But if the locks were open, would it be okay to tow my train then?
やってくれる？
Perché no? More money for that stick.
お前喋んなよ。
Ah, it's possible. My husband say we help you if you give
お
money.
金が必要。
Right. And how much do you want?
ごめついな。
He wants $150.
150ドル。
$150? I don't have that much.
取る
No
ね。
money, no barge. Let me
手
offer
で出
you
せないぞ。
$75.
75は？
Nay, $125.
ちょっと安くなったけど。
$100 and not a dime
100
more. Correct. You have barge for
OK、100
$100.
な。
Great. Now, don't move. I'll be back as quick as possible with the money.
お金を持ってか。で、お金って増えたな。
It's not very polite of you to take advantage of my predicament. We could have done favors for each other, for free.
まあこれは10日交換じゃない？引っ張る代わりにやっぱこう払うものは払えってことじゃない？
Excuse me? My
とりあえず旦那
husband
黙れ。
said need money for leave.
奥さん話してくれよ。
$100 not lot for fancy lady like you. How would you know a
バ
fancy
カ野
lady
郎。
like me? Really?
上流階級って何やねん。
I'll leave you to it.
私は一般
I
人じゃ
won't
ぞ。
disturb you again.
クソ見て言ってんのかおめえ。
Svidania.
なんだって？わかんねえや。じゃあなんて言ってたんかな。そうかい。したら、鳥たちの注意をそらす。多分赤い鳥のことかな。ほらなんか邪魔でさ、はしご登れなかったじゃん。多分あいつらのことだと思う。したら金か。金払わないとね、あの人たち船を使ってね、機関車引っ張ってくれないみたいだからね。したら、こっち側はもう OK だと思うから、 そっち行くか。この意味ありげな正面のやつはこれまだまだ行くとこあるってこと？これちょっと待って、そっちとか。いやー、広すぎるほんと広すぎる。ちょっと待って、今もうルートがねこんがらがってきたぞ。あ、こっち行けないか。行き止まり。ちょっとね、良かったって思ってる自分がいいんだよね。ごめんなさいしたらこっち、あー、マンモスのやつあったね。あ、で、あれなんだ、サーベルタイガーとかで、これこれは何？あ、回って、あ、誰かいるな。で、これ
If that's going to work,
何か
looks
が
like
必要み
something's
たい
missing.
ね。これ
This thing's jammed.
引っかかって動かない。なんかさ、これの反対側になんか金の卵みたいなのあるね。あれがヒントってことかな。これちゃんとさ、重さを揃えてハンドルを回すとか、そういうことかな。ちょっとわかんねえな。で、この人
Hello.
何してんのここで。
Hey, baby, you party? You sure
baby.
looking mighty fine. Love those big round
何が
eyes.
キュートだよっ
Just who
て。
do you think
何々しい
you
だ
are?
こいつ。なんだよ。
Hey, spunky. I like that in a lady. Okay, I'm hooked. Come on, Zol. I'll let you buy me that
コー
coffee.
ヒーおごってくれたら逆
I
だろ
don't
てめえ。
remember ever asking.
Hey, don't play hard to get. I know you like it big time.
Listen, kid.
やばい、こいつ
Go
苦
back
手だ
home
な。
and play with your toy cars and forget you ever saw me.
おもちゃで遊んでなさいと。子供は年にしてねってかい。チャラいやつだったな。で、ここが多分あれかな、大学ですか。で、中央のやつはマンモスの骨かな。で、こっちは上がってで、これはなんだ。あー、なるほど。まあ、授業を受けるためのこれところですね。あー、大学ってこういうのあるよね。で、あ、こっち行ける。
That door is locked.
鍵がかかってるあー、なるほど。鍵かかってる。で、ちょっと待ってよ。こっちっていけないな。そしたらこっち行って、違う。これさ、少しだけね動かないんだよね。場面変わってちょっとだけ動かないんだよね。で、したらこっち、こっち、あー、ここは図書館かな。で、誰かいるな。
Excuse me. Can I disturb you a second?
いい？
No.
You could be a little bit nicer about it.
そうだよ。
Keep quiet. In case you haven't noticed, we're somewhere that requires
あー、
silence and
そういうこと。
tranquility.
とするとこれ他の人も同じ反応か。あ、で、待って、今なかったぞ。アマゾン探検機、アレクサンダー・バレムボイス・ジョー。アマゾン赤カッコ。アマゾン赤カッコってこれ、カッコってこれか。こいつさ、はしごの下にいたやつだよね。はい。餌であるソービニオンブドウを探しに下に舞い降りてくるときに目にすることができる。あ、これさ、餌でおびき寄せてあそこからどかすとかそういうことかい。ブドウね。あ、大好物でありって書いてあるね。じゃあこれが必要ってことか。食うか食われるかってああ、なるほどっていう。あ、続きか。将来 ん。がむしゃらの略ですや。あーはー。なるほど。これ、括弧についてまとめた本ってことか？で、この右側のやつが、その例のブドウってことか。でもさ、これ見た感じ、なんかさ、左側のさ、括弧のやつとさ、比べるとこれ、モノクロなんじゃねえの？したら、見た目はこれってことね。はい。わかりました。で、ゲットしたけど、まあ、ここで確認できるってことか。何が必要とかね、忘れないようにね。うん。して、あ、めちゃめちゃ増えてる。卵を見つける。あ、ブドウを見つけると。オッケーオッケー。出たってことは絶対必要ってことだよね。で、ほんと静かだな。ちょっと、個人的には、うん。今この状況だとちょっとよろしくないかな。やっぱ音楽とかね、大事ってね、これで実感するな。で、はしごがあるけど、あ、登れる？ん？これ？キノコ図鑑？ん？ヤンガラコーラキノコ？なんかこれ必要とか、そういう感じ？なんか異常なまでには彼らの視力を強化する。服用した狩人は遠く生い茂った草間に潜んでいる獲物を一発で仕留めることができるようになる。なるほど。このキノコには視力回復の効果があるってことか。だから何？鳥と関係ねえじゃん。いやでもこうしてみるってことはなんかあんだろうな。で待って、もしかしてあるー。こうしてゲットしたってことはそのキノコも必要ってことか。なるほど。で、なんか他はあるのかな。今ここどこいるんだ？わかんねえんだけど。こっちは開いて、で、誰かいるな。3人いるね。
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Tell me, young lady, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Please do be brief. We do not have very much time on our hands.
As rectors of this university, we have serious matters to attend to, and our time is precious.
I have heard you wish to meet the owner of the train that is currently in your station. May I know the reason for your summons?
一応私が責
We
任
are
者なんですけ
surprised
ど。
that your train has not yet left, miss. The situation is most regrettable.
いや、と言って
The
も
rules do
ね、
clearly state
1000万
that
円がないと
trains
ね、
are
動かない
meant
ん
to
だ
come
よ。
and go and not remain stationary at a platform.
Train should
Kumaru.
first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
We agree then,
ル
dear
ールか
colleagues,
も
that
しん
what
ね
we're
えけど、
dealing
動か
with
せ
is
ねえんじゃ仕方
deviant
ねえじゃん。
behavior.
This matter really is cause for concern.
It's a clockwork
まさかだけど、
train,
こ
you
の
see?
3人
So
が
it
学
needs
長ってこと？
winding up again. Unfortunately, there is no equipment in the station to do this.
うん。
A clockwork train? That's strange.
How very quaint. You mean it's some sort of mechanical toy?
よくお分か
You
り
are
で。そうなんで
causing
すよ。
a hindrance to us, miss.
I am very hopeful that I will find what I need along the wall.
The wall?
え？
Miss,
な、
that
何？
really is
何そ
not
こだ
a
けさ、口
suitable
揃え
place
た？
for you to go.
Especially for a young lady.
You see, miss, we freely admit that every day we praise the existence of that particular edifice. We owe the integrity of our
壁
dear
って、
university
あの
and
壁
the
のことか？
fine
玄
education
米
it
の先にあっ
provides
たさ、なん
to
か
the
奇妙な
wall.
壁、あれのこ
It
とか？
protects us from harm and invasion from the unknown.
あ、
May
敵の
God
攻撃や
protect
侵
us from
略？
what is beyond
え、
those
何あの向
ramparts,
こう
miss.
側はなんか物
Please
騒な世界ってこ
believe
と？
me.
I don't have any choice. I must continue my journey.
そうだよね。
Such a decision is a correct one since it's in line with regulations.
反し
Thus,
てないん
your
だ。
train will indeed be able to leave.
And
Oh.
consequently cease to obstruct our station.
うわ、めっちゃある。目的のものとかね、3つぐらいね、お金とか、キノコとか、ブドウ。キノコはね、わかんないんだけど、なんか必要な感じがするよね。したら、まず自己紹
I
介
haven't
するか。
introduced myself. My name is Kate Walker.
Walker, haven't we already had a Miss Walker? Ethnology
Ah,
Masters,
Walkerっていう女性いたん
September
だね。
1953, if my memory serves me correctly.
perfectly well, my dear colleague. But if I may be so bold, it was a Mr.
女性じゃな
Walker
くて
and not a
男子か
Miss.
よ、おい。
It was Bill Walker, sat the
Billy
June
Walker.
68 exams. The impudent fool turned up for the oral
もう若
assessment
者だ
in
った。
jeans.
ジーンズ姿で現れ
Flouting
た。
strict internal regulations which explicitly
ちょっと一緒に
state
し
the
ないでよ。
required uniform for the occasion.
Pure incitement. It was scandalous. Sadly, we have seen worse since. Young people lack all respect of traditional
そこの
values.
若い人は常識というのを知らない
Tradition,
と
young。lady. One must always uphold tradition.
まあ確かにな、常識を忘れちゃいけないけどな。まあ時にはさ、破ることも大事なんじゃない？まあ人様の迷惑にかからない範囲でな。としたらミッシ
You
ョン。
see, I didn't actually intend to stop here, but the springs of my train gave up, you see?
うん、ゼン
No,
マイな
not。really. You mean to say you're not a student?
生徒じゃねえ
You
よ。
have
何
arrived
言
a
ってん
little
だ
late in
よ
the。term, Miss.
おい、人は聞いてた
Enrollment
か？
for this year has already terminated.
But as rectors of this university and therefore representatives of its highest authority, we could bend
人
the
変えること
rules
もあ
a
るん
little,
だ。
if
規
you
則
like.。
You don't understand. I'm a lawyer from New York, or rather Valadilen more precisely. My client wants to buy out an old mechanical toy factory, but its heir isn't actually dead and is living somewhere in Syberia. I've got to get to him to sign the sales contract. You see?
Not really. This is a most peculiar tale.
A kerfuffle of the highest order.
We have an excellent law school, if you should ever change your mind.
歓迎しようって。大学行く気あるケイト。したらヘル
Can
プ
you。possibly help me out here?
Miss, your insistence is almost verging on indecency.
If you don't mind, could you not disturb us all the time? Thank you.
We cannot constantly be at your disposal. We have many other
いや、
requests
そ
to
りゃ
attend
そう
to.
だけど、ただ聞いただけじゃん。そんな怒る？したらハンセ
Does the name Hans Vorarlberg mean anything to you by chance?
Ah, one of the brightest, most idealistic intellects to have graced our university. Hans Vorarlberg. I remember speaking to him once. I was still a student at the time. He just stared at me, lost in thought for a while. He scarcely ever said a word. But how can one forget him?
Idealistic? I'll grant you that, but bright? Oh, don't go too far. He was completely incapable of passing any exams.
え、一
All
回
he
も合
ever
格点
did
取
was
っ
to
たこと
sit
が
in
なか
on
った。
lessons, and not many of them either. Paleontology mainly. He had an
あ、そうやって
unhealthy
講義を受け
passion
てい
for
ただけ。
mammoths, which matched the state of his intellect perfectly. That is to say, prehistoric.
Prehistoric?
Oh,
How
Mama's ne.
dare you? A little far-fetched, maybe. But he did have flashes of intellectual brilliance, comprehensible only to high-minded scholars who hold no score by appearances. My dear colleague, your hasty conclusions are somewhat cavalier.
My assessment is wholly accurate. The boy was a little odd.
しかしようしゃべ
You
んなこの
must
3人。
concur if my
一人に絞
father,
って
who
くれ
was
や。
rector of the university at the time, had not shown great indulgence towards him. Hans Vorarlberg would have never attended this establishment.
What about the bandstand, then? Is that the work of a deranged mind? Even after all these years, you are still jealous of it.
演奏台って
My
何？
dear colleagues, I beseech you, let's show some decorum. We have a visitor.
はあ、戻るんかい、ここ
What do
で。
you want with Hans Vorarlberg, miss?
いや、
Are
違
you a
う
member of
けど
his
さ、
family?
もう聞い
No,
て
no,
た。
not at all. I'm looking for him to clear up an inheritance matter. Is he still here?
What? Here? At the university? No, not at all. He
はるか
left
昔にこ
a
こを去っ
long
たと。
time ago. Yes, a very long time ago.
50
The very
年
year I was nominated to this position, in fact. Almost 50 years ago already.
The poor soul moved on once he learned all he needed to know about mammoths.
ああ、マンモスについて
Ah,
全て
this
学んだ後ここ去っ
establishment
たん
was
だ。
never quite the same after his departure. It
じゃあ
must
マ
be
ンモス
said.
しか興味なかっ
You
たっ
mean
て
to
ことだ
say
ね
it。was never as bad? All that oddball brought to this university was his misplaced fantasies.
Gentlemen, gentlemen, let's try to retain the calm and
肩
level-headedness
書
that
きが
befits
泣き
our
ますぞ
position.
と。終わったかい？長かったな。したら機関車。
Excuse me.
Miss, we find ourselves terribly put out by the presence of your train in our station and by its recurrent immobility.
Indeed, the situation is very regrettable. Your huge locomotive is very cumbersome.
かな
A
りの
train
被
should
害。
first stop, then subsequently leave.
あれ
That
これ
is
ま
the
さか
rule.
だけど、待って待って。 話したよね、それ。なんか聞いたことあるセリフだなって思ったけど。鳥。
That idea of the station aviary is really very original.
あ、駅を
It's the
鳥小屋
pride
に
of
してる
our
んだ。
university.
何
One
何
of the
何
specialties taught here is zoology, you see, and more particularly
今なんかフリーズしたよね。
ornithology. Proper study and instruction should not be limited to books. Observation of living matter is indissociable from theoretical questions.
It contains some very rare specimens that have been brought back from far away exotic countries, especially for our university, by the world's most intrepid explorers.
Do you remember Alexander Valenbois?
お
And his peculiar bird?
ああ、その人の名前知ってるよ。
Absolutely.
本持っ
His
てるよ、
gift
今。
produced some very embarrassing long-term consequences.
大きな
A
悩みの
poison
種。
chalice
それって
indeed. It must be said the situation could have been much worse, however.
Oh, yes, it
なん
could
か
have
駅に行った
been
さ、男の人が言ってたよ
terribly
ね。
problematic.
なんか鳥のさ、卵さ、落としまくってさ、格好が増えすぎて困ってるとかさ、そんなこと言ってたよね。それのことかな。で、お
Some
金。
sailors have agreed to tow the train, but I don't have enough money to pay them. I was wondering if you could help me out. For a while.
ここでお金借りんのねえねえねえ、さっきまで話したのにさ、何でそれさ、こそこそしてんのはい。
Please wait, miss. We have certain confibulations to attend to.
あ、議論。
That is right. We must confibulate between ourselves. A collegiate decision must be taken.
I hope that we are not indisposing you in any way.
気にするわ。
Why not?
はや
If it helps us get rid of that train.
My word, that is a fine
あ、いい
idea.
のお金。
What do you have in mind, gentlemen?
When you arrived here, you must have noticed a splendid bandstand which honors the main university courtyard.
A unique piece of mechanical craftsmanship which no
なんか
longer
変な
works,
さ
alas.
装置があったあ
Why,
れ
yes,
か
we have very moving memories of its melodies. We're prepared to offer you a financial reward if you can set it
あ
working
あ、あれを
again.
元に戻してくださる
With
報酬を出すと。
What do I have to do?
Unfortunately, my
まあ
dear,
この大学を出
time
て、
and
なん
rust
か
have
中央ら
taken
辺に
their
あったあ
toll
れ
on
を
this
直した
university,
ら、お
and
金を
our
くれるってこと
automatons no
100ドル。
longer have a spring in their step.
何があってんだよ。
You are going to
お
have
つのが
to
言
be
えって言っていいの
resourceful.
か
To tell you the truth, there are a number of complex mechanisms here in Barakstadt, and it would appear that we have
解説書が残って
unfortunately
いないん
lost
じゃ
their
よって、おい、そ
operating
れダメだ
instructions.
ろうよ。な
Your
んでよ。
train, however, is an extremely
そういうのって
ingenious
さ、大
invention,
事取っ
so
とく
you
もんじゃない
should be
の
no stranger to complex mechanisms, should you? We are therefore counting on your ingenuity, miss.
I hope that I can show myself worthy of your faith in me,
あーとりあえ
gentlemen.
ず頑張ってみます
Well,
わ
my。dear colleagues, one more university matter nicely tied up.
なんかすいませんがね、君たちさ、問題をさ、他人にさ、あげるんじゃないよ。それぐらい自分で解決しようよ。学長だろ、てめえら。したら、ヤンガラコーラキノコ。
Can you tell me if I
言いにくい
can
な。
find Yangala Cola here in
コーラ
Bagstad?
でいいんじゃないほら、飲み物みたいにさ、いいん
I'm
じゃない
sorry, come again?
え
What on earth are you suggesting, miss? How positively
学長のくせに知
infuriating.
らないの
I am sorry. Look, are there any...
Yongala Cola.
The lady said Yangala Koala.
違う違う、
No,
コアラじゃ
she
ない。
said Yongala Cola.
No, 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 you have no idea. It's Yangola Koala. Do try to follow.
すいませんが、
No! Right Honorable Assistant Rector, sir, are you in any way
君たちの耳がさ、
insinuating that
疑
I
わ
am
しいやん。もう
hard of hearing?
I would not dream of such an insinuation, oh right honorable assistant rector, sir. Dyslexic, maybe, however. I seem to remember you having a little difficulty
いや
pronouncing
別
tricky
に普通
tropical
に話してる
names.
と思うんだが。
What? I think you'll find it's you who has deficiencies in the area of cultural matters.
Gentlemen, please. The right pronunciation is
Yangala
Yangala
Cola
Cola.
です。
It's a little...
We understood.
Perfectly.
and why might you be looking for this
ヤンガなんとか
thingamajig?
やらと。
Indeed. What a strange request. Why could you possibly need Yangala Koala?
頭痛い。ダメだ、日本語がもう通じないわ。日本語じゃないけどさ、もうやだ、もう。したらこれ
You
は
wouldn't know if there is any Forest
Budowa?
Sauvignon here in Bagstad, would you?
Absolutely.
When he says absolutely, he means, of course, absolutely none.
おい待って、本当に
What
そ
we
ういう意
mean,
味
of
か。
course, is that we are
もちろんっていうのはある
absolutely
っていう意味の
positive
もち
there
ろん
is
しか
no
私知らないけ
Forest
ど。
Sauvignon here
ない
in
なんて言ってねえじゃん。
Really? Are you
怪しい
sure?
な。
Because I read in a book that Balakstadt possesses a number of plants. I wouldn't mind getting a hold
え、
of some
本
if
にそんなこと
possible.
書いてあったっけ？
Out of the
ざっと読んだだ
question.
けだからな。
Don't forget the regulations, miss. Don't forget them. Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. And quickly.
The assistant rector means to say that our priority is for you to remove your train from our
次の停車
station.
駅でさ
Your
れると
research
い
will
い。
have to wait until your next stop.
え、なんでそ
Yes,
んなに
that's
追い払
right.
たい
Your
感じ
train must
する
leave the station immediately, so please refrain from wasting our time in needless visitations.
この慌てようなんかありそうだな。なんかこのブドウの話振ったらさ、急にさ、なんか慌て出したよね。おい、君たちまさかだけどなんか違法なことにさ、手を染めてんじゃないだろうね。で、ロ
If you
ック。
can possibly get the canal
ああ、
lock
水門のロ
open,
ックね。
then the sailors will be able to tow the train up to the winding machine.
What a surprising request.
Open the lock. What a singular
いや
idea.
解除しなさ
Our
いって言われても
university
鍵がない
isn't
んだよ。
responsible for the functioning of the canal
キー
locks.
が必要とか
A
ね、言ってたよ
different
ね。
administration
調べた時
deals
に。
with that, miss.
え、ダメってこと？したらフェ
Can
ル
you
プ。
possibly help me out?
Miss, your insistence.
ああ、ダメ
If
か。
you
同
don't-
じセリフ
We
か。
cannot.
したらこれ。
Here we are, busy chatting, and look at the clock. It's tea time.
Already?
いや、すいませんがね、
My word,
君たちのね、
doesn't
なんかこ
time
う
fly by?
耳がさ、悪い
Thank
の
you
かどう
for
か
a
わかんないようなさ
charming、visit,
その
miss.
会話をさ、繰り返している間にさ、
And thank
時
you,
間が過ぎたんだからな。私は直接さ、ちゃんと手短に言ったぞ。で、おう。野外ステージを再び使えるようにする。うん。したら、船のね、やつは、まあお金ね。ちょっとよ、これ。まあお金の件は、まあ、解決しそうだから、あれな、装置ね。したら、こっち、あ、いけ、あ、誰かいるな。すいません。
Excuse me. Sir, please, just a moment.
あ、教授
Yes,
George,
what
no.
is it? I'm not deaf, you know.
I am sorry to disturb you in your work, sir, but
This young mammothus primigenius is barely 40,000 years old. Fantastic.
別に
wouldn't
聞
you
いた
say,
わけじゃ
miss?
ないのに、マモスについて語り出すぞ。
yes, probably.
What do you mean, probably?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, you don't know. I see. What can I do for you, my dear child?
うわーなんかめっちゃあるけど、この人はね、学長と違って、なんかいろいろ知ってそうだな。まあ、と
To
りあ
tell
え
you
ず
the truth,
自己紹介を。
I don't know very much about mammoths, and I'm not here as a student. In fact, I'm a lawyer.
It's all right. Nobody's perfect. All the same, the study
あ
of the
いいこと言うね、
Pleistocene
完璧
period
な
is
人間なんてい
fascinating.
ないんですからって。
I'm sure it is. But I'm sorry to say my current mission is totally monopolizing my time. Another time, maybe.
この人は
Ah, that's
話が
what
分か
they
り
all
そうだ。
say. But anyway, let me present myself. I'm Cornelius Ponce, Emeritus Professor and Lecturer at the University of Barokstadt.
あ、最
I'm
高
proud
責
to
任
say
者
that。I'm head of the Department of Paleozoology at our university.
Kate Walker. Pleased to meet you.
光栄です。いやー、まともな人に会えた気がする。したらミッ
It
ショ
wasn't
ン。
really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess, this university is really very impressive.
Ah,
まあでも、
indeed.
ほとんど回っ
There's
たわけ
such
じゃ
a
ないからな。
tradition of learning here. So much knowledge, a real depth of culture, intelligence, and gray matter. I myself did my studies here
今も
and
なお
never
学び
left.
続けていますと。
Actually, I'm here because I've been summoned by the rectors of the university.
Oh, I see. You must have made a mistake on your enrollment form.
どういうこと
Oh
入
no,
学願
no.
書に
I
間違いっ
haven't
て。
come here to study.
何
I
あい
have
つら
an
何間違
important
い
matter of
ばっかするってこ
inheritance
と
to attend to. I have to find the heir.
And you hope you will find him here?
I'm
いや
not altogether
いないみ
sure.
たいだよね。
But you see, my train broke down coming into Barrackstadt station.
In that case, my dear, you must come to one of my lectures. Here's a question for you. Do you know what the Proboscidean
あ、
order
生
is?
花類
The Probowhatian?
超
I
部類
see. There are gaps in your knowledge that need refreshing.
え、 私知識ずれてんの？なんか受けなきゃいけないっぽいぞこれ。
I feel I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Oh, my dear child, you've chosen your moment. I absolutely must finish off my lecture for this afternoon.
It's a lecture about mammoths?
Oh, yes and no. More specifically, it is about their migration. Do excuse me, I need to concentrate.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg. He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory. My company is in charge of negotiations for the takeover of this factory. At last word, he was living in Syberia. So, as soon as my train is ready, I'll be continuing my journey eastwards.
Syberia. Ah, Syberia. But what was it you said again?
Said what?
You mentioned a name. The person you are looking for.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg.
Do
you know him?
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him? Such an extraordinary fellow. So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion. Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard like Hans. At the time, we were both students. Well, sort of. Put it this way. Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. See, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications. In exchange, Hans did a few odd jobs around the university.
Your Hans Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for.
I'm not sure, my dear. Hans was above all questions of money and business. Just to imagine him running a factory. Perish the thought.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
A doll, you say?
Yes. He kept talking about it. One day he described it to me. A sort of children's toy. A miniature mammoth mounted by a mount. It appears he found it in a cave not far from his home. The event all sounds very dramatic. His account was slightly confused, but it awoke a great interest in me.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there was only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mount, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Syberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me. Even today, it is beyond my comprehension.
Have you considered that Hans Vorarlberg was maybe making it up? You said yourself he didn't seem to have all his mental facilities intact.
No, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent a story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Syberia legend. He described it to me in exact detail. Syberia itself is a chimera that paleontologists of the world are very fond of pursuing.
Arriving in Barrackstadt is an amazing experience. I've never seen such a station.
You came by train?
Yes, in a kind of clockwork train with a spring mechanism that winds down regularly.
You mean you drive a train? Young ladies of today never cease to amaze me.
Oh, no, I'm not the engineer. The train's engineer is actually an automaton. I am sorry, all this probably sounds very strange.
A clockwork train, driven by an automaton. I once knew a man long ago who could have invented such a train. It was he who designed the bandstand in the main square. To think that he was even capable of creating such a gadget. He was astounding, a true genius. But oddly, at the same time, he was also almost a child. It was as if his mental and physical evolution had definitively halted at the age of 10. Can you believe that?
Yes. I think I can believe that. At least I'm beginning to.
この人の方が顔を合わせている回数が多いとかそういう感じかな。 で、鳥。
My train stopped in a peculiar aviary. It's very odd. A lot of bird species seem to seek harbor there.
Ornithology is far from being my favorite subject, but I must concede that the station is the pride of the university. It was initially intended for teaching purposes, but then birds started arriving from all around the world. Seems that there are still rare species breeding there and flourishing.
Are there? Can you give me an example?
I have been told about a kind of bird with peculiar habits. Let's see now, the Amazon cuckoo. That's right. But, oh, I'm so foolish. I can't remember what was so special about it. Just that its behavior is very peculiar.
Where's the Amazon? What is the Amazon?
I'm sorry, my dear, but one cannot learn everything in a lifetime. Specialization is the key to real knowledge. Why don't you take a visit to our library?
Thank you very much.
それはね、もう調べ済みだよ。本あったもんね。で、お金。
Professor, how do I say this? You see, I didn't think I'd need a lot of money when I set out. And it turns out I need money after all. It's a delicate matter, I know, but I was wondering if you could help me out.
My dear, it would be a pleasure. But you see, I barely have enough myself to cover my meager expenditure on what I'm paid by the university.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend or...
However, if we look at the example of Hans, it is true that our university always rewards people who perform some service for it. This is our director's jurisdiction, however.
なるほど、等価交換制度があるんだね、ここ。したら、ヤンガラコーラキノコ。
I read in the library in a book on the Amazon that there's a mushroom called the Yangala cola. I'd like to try and find some if you have any in your collections. It just might come in handy.
Yangala cola.
おいおい、合ってる合ってる。
Of course, a marvelous idea. Yes,
喜んで差し上げましょう
indeed.
と。
I expect I have some of that
研
somewhere
究
in
室
my
どっかにあるは
laboratory.
ず。粉末にして容器に入れておいたはずだが。あ、
myself.
粉末にしてあん
Now,
の
where did I put that container?
Do you mind if I have a look around? I'll be careful.
Oh, no, not at all. I wish you luck in trying to find something in the midst of this scholar's jumble, but please, go ahead.
おさあどうぞと。行かないの？そしたらブドウ。
If I were to say Forest Sauvignon to you, what would you say?
知ってる？
Oh, let's see. Sauvignon. Sauvignon? I would say it's some kind of tropical
いや、この人
shrub,
頼
don't
り
you
に
think?
なるわ。
We are talking about the same plant then.
ちゃんとね、
It
思い
is
出
a
そうとして
very
るからね。
rare shrub with small, juicy fruits. I found a book about the Amazon, and it says that there are even Sauvignon plants growing right here in Bergstadt. You wouldn't know where, would you?
これさ、学長に振ったらさ、なんか知らんぷりされたんだよ。
Here? No. No, I don't think there are any. Highly implausible. But, you should ask the station
駅
master.
長に聞いてみ
He
ては
is
いか
keeper
が
of the
かね。
greenhouse at our university, so he could tell you more
駅
than me.
長。
あ、
ま
Thanks
さか
very much.
あの男か。オッケー、わかりました。いや、頼りになるわ。ちゃんとね、こっちのさ、質問に対してはちゃんと答えてくれんだもん。学長たちはさ、なんか、ああだこうだ言ってさ、もう頭入ってこねえんだよ。じゃあ、ロッ
I'm
ク。
under the impression that if I'm to continue my journey, I'm going to have to open the locks on the canal.
You're probably right, my dear, so open the locks. Whether they are open or closed is none of my business.
あ、これについてはちょっとわかんない感じかな。
I'll leave you in peace. I hope I haven't disturbed you too much.
うん、お
Sorry?
話ありがとうござい
No,
ます。
no, no, not at all, my dear child.
いや、なかなか有意義な時間でしたよ。で、
No point. It's locked.
あ、閉まってる。うん。こっちはいけない。うん、そこはなんか窓っぽいからいけねえかな。したら、これであれかな？だいたい回れたかな？うん。で、うわ、めちゃめちゃだな。ああ、二日より。あ、マンモスの人形を教授に渡す。で、駅長に、ソービニオンについて尋ねる。おー、オッケーオッケー。したら、駅に戻って、まず人形ね、取ってきましょうかね。あ、何？誰？
Hello?
はい、しもしも。
So, you got him then, this air?
Ah, it's you, Mr. Morrison. Good day, and how are you, sir?
怒ったんだって。この感じ怒ってんな。
I'm in Barkstadt.
うん、バルクシュタット。
What in God's name are you doing there?
いや、何してるんだって相続に探してんだよ。
It would appear Hans Vorarlberg once passed by here
ここにいたっていう情報があったんだよ。
So if he isn't there anymore, then there's no point hanging around.
I hear what you're saying, sir, but I have good reason to believe that Hans Vorarlberg is still alive. For the time being, I'm trying to gather extra information from people who have known him.
What's your next
せっかちは嫌われるよ。
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Doesn't sound like you know too much, Kate.
I just need a bit of time, Mr. Morrison.
Yeah, well, time is what you ain't got. Keep me posted.
こまめに？本当にこまめにやるぞ。10秒に1回とか。いいのか？おめえはこまめにって言ったからな。10秒に1回電話するぞ。いいんだな。あ、そろそろ10秒かな。よし。したらオフィスかな。ほら、お前が言った通り、こまめに電話するぞ。10秒に1回やるからな。嫌がらせかってね。
You have reached Martin and Walnut Associates. We're sorry, but all our lines are busy. Please call back later.
私はちゃんと電話したからな。こまめにって言ったからな。そう、電話がね、できないということで、したら、戻りますよ、列車に。